Oh, Tamriel, shooby-doo, fast travel through my heart. I booted up my PC back in 2006. Met a guy named Martin, man, his chin could break bricks. Dedrick gates were open and I saved Kvatch that night. But these days, Todd Howard can't script a game right. I miss the wacky guards yelling, "Stop, you violated the law." And mud crabs with tood like they're flexing their claw. I'd stroll through the shivering aisles, high on skooma and dreams. Now Starfield's got me mining space rocks and jeans. Back to the oblivion, baby, where the quests were weird and gravy. From Sheogorath's cheese to Lucian's ghost, it had more charm than Todd could ever post. Yes, Starfield's big, but it's dull and gray. I'd rather close an oblivion gate today. Now listen here, Todd, you silver-tongued crooner. You sold me lies smoother than a Khajiit moon sugar dealer. You see that planet? You can go there. Yeah, I went, it sucked, it's just a rock and despair. I want my persuasion wheel, my glitchy horse on a roof. I want that beggar with 6 voices telling me the truth. Make the liar had more insight and flair than all your procedurally generated air. Back to the oblivion, baby, where the gates were hot and the jokes weren't lazy. Yeah, Skyrim was fine and the mods were neat, but Oblivion's heart had a weirder beat. So Todd, my boy, if you're hearing this song, bring back the weird and don't take so long. Doo-wop, Daedric pop, Martin Septim never dropped, but Starfield made me stop playing. Oh, Todd, please stop.
Welcome, everybody. We're back once again, living the dream. And today, we're going to be trying something a little bit different. A little bit of marathon. The alpha has lifted, meaning today we get the chance to actually try it live for all of you to see and judge for yourselves. We are limited on access, of course. There's a lot of people who, like even YouTubers and streamers, that wanted access to it and just couldn't. They just couldn't get access to it because it's pretty locked down. And I'm still waiting on more codes to be able to give them out to the community to let you guys play and try it yourselves as well. But we're waiting on those. They're just being picky with sending them out. But I have the game, Mr. Jacob has the game, and we're going to jump on that, and we're going to try a few rounds. This isn't going to be one of those things where we're playing it for 6 hours or anything. We're going to jump in, try a little bit, and go from there, but it should give you a pretty good idea of what's going on. Quick little tidbit, if you somehow missed it, for the love of God, buy, support, and play Expedition 33. It is a masterpiece. I love it dearly. And over the last few days, as you guys have been like, oh, I don't know, is Expedition 33 gonna do a good job? Is it gonna hold up against Oblivion? I was like, I think what I said yesterday was, I think it won't have a problem drawing attention or something like that. And now you know why, because it's phenomenal. It's currently tied for the top game of the year so far, and it's doing quite well critically, and I think people will really dig it. So I highly recommend you check that out. Other surprise thing that happened this morning was they, of course, shockingly, because this is just where we're at, very surprisingly, they dropped the official release date trailer for Ghost of Yotei. And like the trailer looks good. We'll probably do like a full blown look at it and deep dive into the game in the near future. But they show a bunch of stuff, major graphical improvements across the board. Really, really clear. They've been busy. You know, just the difference here in the cutscene quality, texture quality, it's crazy. Very, very impressive. But I think the most surprising thing with all of it is that they rendered in 1080p. No, it's it's the release date that they actually dropped. I shouldn't be surprised. It's IGN. Of course it's low quality. Of course. Yeah, that's IGN for you. But it's October 2nd is what they're quoting. What? What? Really? Okay. Because here's the thing. Like, they kind of needed to drop around this time because there's a couple of big things. For one, don't forget Marathon is a PlayStation game. Okay, that is considered a PlayStation game. They want to spend marketing effort on that as well. So that pretty much takes up September. August, I think, is just too early. I don't think it'd be done by then. So that pushes it to like October, November, December. And they really don't have much of a choice. Because I think if they go November, they risk getting swamped by GTA Online. And possibly GTA as well. But if they go early October, they have a good amount of wiggle room. You know, I think they're good. This is the weird thing with GTA is that it's not just when GTA Story Mode launches. It's when GTA Story Mode launches. And then last time it was about a month. After that, they drop the online mode. So to see them targeting October 2nd, it basically, I think, reaffirms the idea that GTA is looking at late October for the story release and then online probably in November at some point. I think that makes sense. So it lines up, but there's another elephant in the room with this, you know, all of this, which is a November release for PlayStation, which if you missed my video on the main channel, then how dare you? But it looks like there's a strong possibility that Santa Monica Studio is working on a small spin-off game in the God of War franchise, something akin to like Miles Morales or like the Left Behind DLC, or maybe Lost Legacy is a better example. So that would probably drop in like November, or it's been delayed. If it exists. I mean, it's not as locked in as like the Oblivion remake, remaster, whatever it was. We knew for sure that was coming, but it's starting to line up, starting to check out, starting to make sense. Starting to make a lot of sense. Spin-off with Atreus? No. The rumors suggest that this is a spin-off story about Kratos when he was younger, and it will explore the themes of fatherhood and like the relationship between your father, but flip it, where Kratos in the last couple of games has been the father figure. They're going to flip it and explore the father figures that impressioned or that influenced Kratos. So it sounds interesting. Yeah. But we'll see. So before he received his ash body? Yes. When he was just a normal dude. Sort of. So it's going to be interesting if that actually happens. And there's been some people that have pretty solid track records, like Tom Henderson, who have talked about it pretty precisely. And it's like, okay, I'm paying attention now. We'll see. But that would mean probably that we are getting Ghost early October, probably GTA 6 late October, early to mid-November. We could be looking at the God of War spinoff game, you know, Call of Duty, all of those games, and anything else surprising that is going to drop between now and the end of the year, which, I mean, just I know of a couple of rumblings of things, like a Black Flag remake allegedly is still happening this year. So it's going to be interesting. Luke, why are streams only at 1080? It's because of the latency and delay. it gets pretty rough when you increase the resolution. YouTube just has to process it and distribute it, as does Twitch. Twitch doesn't support 4K streaming for normal people, only if you're like a corporate account, is my understanding. But even on YouTube, there's like a 30-second delay
Velvet
each way.
Patterns donated $15 through Super Chat.
Thank you.
Discovered you from
Jeez.
your Mafia series review.
Hell yeah.
Marathon's release must be a Hail Mary since it's going up against Tarkov's 1.0 launch with its full storyline, PvE, and finished RPG mechanics and GTA V.
Yep. You were expecting me to say more? No, yes. It's I think to a certain extent maybe it's Hail Mary. I do genuinely believe Joe when Joe Ziegler says that he doesn't think of video game development in a competitive sense. Like, he's not trying to beat Tarkov, he's not trying to beat Hunt, he's not trying to beat these other extraction shooters. He's just trying to make the extraction shooter he likes the most, which I think is a good philosophy. But the problem inevitably becomes comparison, which happens. You know, people are going to point at Concord and compare it to Overwatch. People are going to look at Lawbreakers and compare it to Overwatch. People are going to look at Warzone and compare it to Fortnite. Like, it's just going to happen. You know, it's going to happen when you enter that genre. You're going to be compared. And that's why this is, I mean, a lot's riding on this. A lot's riding on it. Now, some of it, we're going to get into this in just a second, because there is some pretty solid gameplay that you can see from people that really know what they're doing. Like this clip of Lupo playing Marathon, which we'll jump into in a second. But you can see his movement's really good. Granted, he's been consulting on this game for like 5 to 6 years. So he really knows his stuff. And he's been around since the beginning of this game, so you'd hope he knows his stuff. But you can see that he is very good. Much better than the gameplay you're going to see from me today, so just buckle up. But this is why I think it's important to understand that there's a difference between people who are competent in these types of games and those who are not. And I'm saying that as somebody I would not consider myself particularly competent in these games, at least not at first. It takes me a good long while to get my feet under me in these types of games. But you're seeing, even on social media right now, a good number of people who they would lose in a tournament like this in the first round. Yeah, I don't know how else to say it. Like, they are not great at these types of games because they don't stream them every day. They're not really good at them. Just, they don't have that talent. But then they're judging the game as a package because they're not very good at it. And that's not fair. You know, it's the same thing that happened when people tried Elden Ring and were like, I don't know, the bosses are too hard. This sucks. This game's terrible. And it's like, nope, it's not. Like, it might suck, but accusing it of sucking just because you're bad at it does not mean that, you know? That's all I'm saying. So it's going to be watching the high level players, how they interact with it. That's going to be the interesting bit for sure. But yeah, we're going to jump in. We're going to try it. I'm going to show you kind of how it works. Some little tidbits. I'm going to reiterate a lot of the things that I brought up in my other video on the game, because there is a good amount of stuff that I would change and that I would alter. One quick thing, shout out to Marathon for this. I have to be careful not to show my entire Steam library or I'll get in trouble. Here. Look at this. The entire alpha is 6 gigs. How refreshing is that? How crazy is that? To see a 2025 game, granted it's only 2 maps and 4 of the 6 playable characters and it's not finished. Still, I'm pleasantly surprised to see something built out under 6 gigs. It's just doesn't happen that often. So I'll give them credit for that. That's pretty cool. Okay. We're going to boot in and I'm going to get Jacob in here because he's going to be joining us today. Rocking and rolling. Oh yes, they do have an anti-cheat that we will show you. Let's get Jacob in here so he can come in and say hi. Wrong button. Hello, Jacob.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. I've got to give everybody credit. Jacob's worked his ass off the last few days, as has Trevor, to get clips and videos out on Expedition 33, on the Oblivion remake. It's crazy. Working the butts off, but it's paid off. I mean, just the stream from yesterday, when we finished streaming and the final stats came in, we had gotten over 170,000 people through that stream. We had like an average concurrent viewership of like 13 something thousand people. That's insane.
That was pretty damn good.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So shout out to all of you guys for watching and hanging out. That's tremendous. Jacob's gonna play games instead of editing. Slacker. I know.
How dare you?
We're also going to be doing his performance review while we do this to save time. Yeah. We're just going to kill two birds with one stone that way, you know? Is this demo on Steam? No. So I guess I should be clear with how this works. Okay. Here's the deal. They are doing a closed alpha right now. Closed meaning it is only available to people that they specifically invite. Those people, most of them are from the original playtests, and there's also some new people that have been added in. But as of today, it's pretty much locked down with whoever's in is in. Tomorrow, they say they're going to send out even more invites to those who have not gotten access or gotten code. So if you did put in a request for like a code, you still might get it, you know? So don't freak out. You very well still could get it. Just tomorrow or the day after. And they're basically revving up, and they're going to be doing a big beta, which will be open to everybody to try. But as of right now, it's going to be a closed alpha. What's interesting to me is that they pretty swiftly changed their approach to this in response to the reactions to the gameplay reveal. I just don't think they were expecting as much skepticism with it. Like, I don't know. What did you think of their reaction or the general reaction, Jake?
It's a little, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people calling it mid so far. I think a lot of people around me have been like, it looks okay. I don't know. And I think the price point scares them off because they don't know what it is. But I don't know. I've been having a good time so far. I think it's okay. It definitely scratches that Apex itch for me.
Yeah, weirdly, it scratches an Apex itch first and foremost. I do think it's going to be really interesting to see how it evolves. People point to like the main menu. They're like, the lighting's so flat. Yes, they actually specifically came out and said the lighting specifically on the character selection screen is not done. So like, do not think that that's what it's going to look like at the end. It is still a work in progress. So they're getting there, they're getting there. But I think I'm also going to lower a lot of these settings because the game was not running too great during our tests. Environmental detail distance and medium. I'm just going to lower everything a notch because performance was not doing so great earlier. Light shafts, no. Wind impulse off. It is an alpha. I'll give them credit there, but yeah, it definitely is not running well on a 4K display, or as well as I would like it to. But yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna actually jump in. The first thing to understand about Marathon is that there are two maps for us to select from. Dire Marsh is the one that was in all of the previews and stuff. So maybe Jacob select Perimeter since you're party captain. Perimeter.
Sorry, I was trying to promote you to it, but it's not letting me.
Dang little thing. It wouldn't let me also like invite you to a squad. I had to join yours manually and then we could be together. It's a little clunky. But Perimeter is the one that we played the first day and that we were not allowed to capture any footage of. Today, they're letting us just stream whatever we want. So they're just like, yeah, enjoy it, stream, go for it, whatever. Once you've done that, is it letting you change the map?
Yes, we are on Perimeter right now.
Oh, It did not update for me. Okay, well, there you go. This was also a thing during the playtest at Bungie, is it also wouldn't reflect for the other players. But you have a couple of like big things to just be aware of. Under the loadout, there are stats for each character. So they do play differently, and there are like metas associated with them. They also have key abilities like Q for smoke screen, F for active camo, which just turns you invisible basically. Shadow dive, which is actually pretty underrated. I'll show you that one. And then Shroud, which is just throwing out massive smoke grenades basically. But within your character yourself, you have like 2 big weapon slots that can have attachments on them. You have 2 equipment slots. One is just standard equipment for things like grenades or claymores, things like that. We also have a shield slot. And then you have 2 core slots. And these affect things like heat or stamina regeneration, cooldowns. They can affect things like your ADS speed, your sprint speed, whatever. And then you have implants, which further allow you to customize other aspects, just kind of like bigger, different cores. And then you have the backpack. And all of this is pretty standard if you're familiar with extraction type games. You know, you put the backpack on, you get more slots. You put the gun in your inventory, you slide it over, and then you got to make sure you take the ammo that you need, and maybe some health packs and some shield packs and a grenade, and you just get kitted up the way you like. This also, some people weren't clear. When I talked about the ranked mode and what they are planning to do with the ranked mode, I mentioned the value of your loadout. That's what this stat is right here. So you can see that if we go to, oh, now it's telling me. Weird. Okay. Well, you see here, it's got value of your loadout at 458. They were saying for the ranked mode, they might have it so like the silver tier lobbies are only enterable if you bring like 2,000 credits worth of stuff, or 5,000 or 10,000, because some of the like legendary grade implants and cores or backpacks or equipment, each of those can be worth like 2,500 credits by themselves for one item. And so there's a lot of scalability. Within the black market, you can see this is where you'll be able to buy stuff. Right now, you can't buy much at all. The way you increase the number of things that you can buy is with this other tab, which are the factions. And the factions basically have upgrades tied to your character. These go from like character to character, play time to play time, whether you start with nothing or you build up a massive account worth 100,000 credits and you lose it all. These will always stay permanently attached to your account. Okay. And there's different ones for each. So because we just booted in, I haven't unlocked the other 5 factions, but each of these have their own play styles associated with them, their own upgrades. And these are things like, you can see heat recovery delay to make it so your stamina basically regens faster. New category of wares, so that allows you to buy more stuff in the shop. Same with this. How high can you jump? How fast you can move. Self-repair, so for healing and using shields and stuff. Tactical energy when you loot a container. All sorts of things like that, okay? So they built it out in a way where they want you to have long-term growth, I guess, is the term. But once you've got your loadout the way you like, you just hit ready. And we're going to do crew fill. So we're going to have a rando jump in and go from there. Now, obviously, UI is pretty underwhelming. The UI is. And that's because it's literally what one of them said was it's sketched. All I think they mean by that is that they basically had a whiteboard and they drew out where characters go, and then they put the inventory here, sketch it out, and then they put it in like that. It's not final. This will probably look totally different when the game actually launches. This is why it's an alpha, and why often in alphas they don't allow you to stream it, because people look at it and go, ugh. That's why. Okay, so if you're worried about the UI, just be aware that that's probably what it is. And then you deploy once it match makes, and it kicks you off. I'm going to show you kind of how it works. Now, I still feel, because after I did the video on it, I said that I felt as though they were kind of rushing this out. It felt like this was kind of coming together at the last minute, despite having been built over 5-6 years. And after I said that, I had people that have worked on live service games and shooters and stuff come to me, and they kind of reiterated that. One guy that reached out said he worked on Call of Duty at one of the big three, and or big two now. I don't know. I don't keep up with it, but he said that it's pretty common to have a game 5 months out for Call of Duty that looks like ass and then comes together at the last second. That's pretty standard. But they have 3,000 employees working on it, you know, across the globe. This game is being put together by currently like 250 people. So it's just not the same. So people who are much smarter than me and have real jobs and stuff have reiterated the initial feeling I had, which was that this game is kind of coming together at the last minute. And we'll see how much of this they can actually polish up. But as you can see, these little blue guys, these are, where's my mouse? These are robots. And, oh God. And they're actually pretty hardcore. They're pretty hardcore. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna take this. Now the biggest thing, I gotta ask you, Jacob, what do you think of the stamina? I had 1 round. Oh my God.
Oh, so far it's been pretty annoying, like across the board.
Yeah, it's probably the single biggest frustration people had from the alpha we played was the stamina, because it just, whenever people complain about it, they said, well, but you can upgrade it in the future. I understand that.
Real bad guys on me,
Oh.
real team. Oh God.
Shoot. Okay, I will take this opportunity. I'm going to pivot around to show the healing works just like Apex. So you see that there are shield slots. And then there's healing kits. And I'm just going to finish healing. And then I'm going to see if I can get around. Now, my character has an ability to go cloaked.
Time to hunt.
Are they still on your body? Can you see?
Nah, they blew my brains. Oh, yes, they are. Look at that. Beautiful. Wonderful.
I keep trying to crouch with C. No! I was reloading. You're not allowed to do that.
No! Oh God, I brought $400,000 worth of equipment.
Oh no! Welcome to Extraction Shooters. So now it's all left up to Rezi Azir, our teammate, our rando Phil. Now this is why I think proximity chat would be really useful, because it would encourage people to use in-game chat. Obviously right now we're streaming, so we can't take the risk of somebody saying something insane. But it's very, very useful to be able to chat with your full team, because this is a game that really hinges on coordination and stuff. Oh, he got. Now
Yeah,
he's
got a
down.
rock before he did any of that too. So I don't know how confident he was.
You'll notice also when the whole team is down, even though Jacob and I were dead, he goes down and it doesn't automatically kick him from the match. That's because there are self revives you can find, but even if you don't have one, it still lets you stay up. And I initially thought that was just like a weird bug. I think the reason that they do it that way is because they don't want teams to know that they just wiped a team. They want you to always wonder if there might be one more player out there. Whereas when you, if somebody were to just go dead immediately because they don't have a self-res and their teammates aren't up, they would know, okay, the team is wiped. You know, I think that's what they're doing, but that's at least it. So we lost, we died. So now my inventory is empty. What you can do is you can go to the black market, buy things. You can go to the vault and you can add back in some other weapons, or you can just go in raw. Just get in there.
I'm going in raw, except for the healing stuff. So not really raw.
Me too. I will do that with you. We'll go in raw with protection. You know?
I don't think that sounds like those two things cancel each other out.
Yeah, that's how it works. So yeah, now we just don't die. I see, as you say. Okay, yeah, like Arik says, Luke, now just don't die next time. Problem solved. So we'll take this next one more methodically, right, Jacob?
Yeah.
Just wait. I'm gonna die immediately on this one. Okay, just
You have
just
to
wait.
have one round to get your feet under you. Now we're locked in. The performance anxiety is gone. Now we're natural born marathoners.
Yeah, I'm walking performance anxiety. What are you?
Can we
talking
stab our teammate to death?
about? No, that would be funny. Just Yuri. It's Spider-Man. So one thing about the heat buildup that you see right below the crosshair is that builds up slower. No, you go faster when you just have your knife equipped. Just like in Apex, if you put your guns away, you move faster. But it still builds up the same speed, apparently. So you can still sprint for the same total amount of time, you just go farther. Which is a small distinction, but it breaks my brain. Because I was like, no, shouldn't it cool down and not build up as fast? Like, no, it actually lets you move faster. Okay. And then there's also these terminals for like specific quests and stuff. They basically are like, find the tablet with the number on it that says this, and then you look around for the tablet that has that number on it. It's just kind of busy work. I wouldn't really call it a quest. I know some people are arguing it should be counted as a quest, but I don't think I will.
Find a thing to do the thing.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't think that counts.
I'm going in this cabinet.
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 It is very Apex once you start to get into the groove of it. Oh, is that a robot?
Ooh, I don't know.
Oh my god,
Looks
it
like
keeps like zipping my mouse cursor to the edge of the screen every time I open a menu, and it's just annoying enough to drive me up the wall. Okay. Because I don't even have a starter weapon, I was gonna try to sneak up on a little fella. I'm taking shots from a robot that has grenades. What I will give them is that the gunplay is, I mean, it's Bungie. They know what they're doing with it. It feels very, very tight. Just the way I like it. I cannot find a gun to save my life.
Here's one here.
He didn't drop one.
There's one over there.
Unbelievable. Yeah, that overheat's gonna be the death of me. Okay, we have a gun now. Now we can win. Let's do it. Yes, I can crank the game volume, yes. Okay. Now I can show you the map once we get inside. Okay. So this is why I said the maps are smaller than you would think, because you're going to get to know them very, very well. They don't change from round to round unless you swap maps entirely. So the POIs will stay the same. There might be a different exfil location, but like events will shift around, but the actual like layout and area will stay the same. Dad?
No, nothing.
Nothing. No.
Oh, don't do anything.
Going to get milk. Don't mind me.
Oh, you have the thing for the thing.
Okay. Energy amp, ability recharge rate. That sounds cool. It's a buff consumable, but I'm already out of space. Isn't that grand? Let's take the blue chips. Okay. Skadoosh. Oh, real player. That was not a teammate.
Oh, shoot.
Dude, I looked out the window and he's just like, hey. Like, there was just a moment of, huh. And then we started shooting at each other.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm really low on ammo.
That was funny. Okay. That was funny. That was my bad. That's what I get for trying to pull open the menus and look at them. That's the other thing maybe to point out.
Oh, that's my buddy.
Putting the claymore down. That's the other thing to point out is that this game very much, like, it's paced and balanced where there is no downtime. Like, there really isn't. You're always on it. So if you're open to like be able to take a minute to go through your inventory, carefully arranging stuff, you've got to pop invisibility, a smoke grenade, something, and be ready. Like it's very intense because they keep the map small enough that they want players to interact with each other constantly. They don't want there to be 10 minutes where nothing's happening. Are they bunny hopping?
Yeah. Oh, is that one of ours? Or?
Man, my heroes. Ooh, baby. So you can be rezzed even when you're dead. Just like that. And you come back with full health. But if you're rezzed after just being downed, you do not come back with full health. Oh, I hear someone. I hear someone.
Bullets.
Reloading. Toss a grenade down.
Oh yeah, grenade or what's it? The corner finder thing. There they are.
Oh, I thought he was
No,
running
not
around.
behind No, I got claymored.
Was it your
What
claymore?
No, it was one of theirs. They put it right in the door where they were hiding. But I shot one of them. Oh, and look at me slide.
Was there still a guy at your door, Jake?
No, I think he rotated around. He's coming in the back, like this a ways a little bit. I'm going over to look. My crawling animation has broken. I am sliding like a worm on the ground. Yeah, they're outside right here. So it sounds like one's
Shadowed path.
plume.
Yes. So I'm throwing down the smoke grenade. My ultimate ability.
No, don't reload, you jackass. Heal. There we go.
Oh, please don't come in here. Don't come in the smoke. Don't come in the smoke.
No!
Oh, there's robots.
Kill me, Yuri.
Secured. Exfil with
Save me, Yuri.
Oh, is that also just a robot? Oh, so this might not even be players outside anymore. The players
No, I
might
think
have
we
freaked
got
out.
them.
The players might have GTO'd. I wouldn't blame them. It's hot. It's spicy. Why is it spicy? Oh.
Oh wow! I am embarrassing myself today. Oh, it's a buddy, or not a buddy. It's an evil guy. But I'm gonna go say hi. Oh, no, right there.
Jesus.
What a bunch of buffoons.
Dude, is there another?
Time to hunt.
Okay.
Don't worry, if there's another, he'll certainly find me, and then we'll get him.
The robot went right past me. That's why you pop invisibility, fam. That's why. That right there. Oh, dude, they had all the healing stuff. Jesus. I don't want that. You know what? Give me ammo. Give me ammo or give me death. I shouldn't have swapped
Yeah.
that. Poo.
Yeah.
I'll just take this. I'm taking all the light ammo. That's what we're doing. That's what we're
Most of the
doing.
light ammo off away as I get it
Okay.
into the trash.
Oh, yep. Somebody died right here, too. Ooh, and they had a
perhaps they got
backpack.
rid of
Hell
it.
yeah.
Oh,
I'll
okay,
leave some
chem
spots
grenade.
open. Okay.
Look
The
at us
chem
go,
grenades
we're
are
doing
broken
great.
as hell, by the way. The
Oh, I know, they're great.
yeah, the chem grenades, one thing that the devs said you should do, whenever you down a player, throw the chem grenade on their body because it has like an emissive effect. So if somebody tries to res them, they will take damage just by being that close to the player. So you down them, you pop the chem grenade on them, and then they literally can't res them because it'll injure them. And okay, we got to get all the way up there, up and around. Now, I think we just ran across like 2 separate teams. So I think we're making good progress, but we're getting there. Are you having fun yet? Here's so first of all, yes. I'll just say yes at the outset.
15 minutes remain.
Yes, I'm having fun. But this is like one of the things
Prepare for
about
increased
extraction
hostile
shooters
action.
is that I think we move. Is that it's very easy to spiral. Like once you start to lose a few rounds, like it just starts to get really, really frustrating. Like I think rage quitting is going to be a big problem for them to overcome here, but that's true of all extraction shooters. But that's why you have to be able to appeal to like hardcore gamers who are going to kind of get over that. There's something making sound at 50. It might have just been the birds that I very generously just alerted. But yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time. I think they have a ton of work to do. And like I said in my initial video, I think this is one of those games that you probably play for 10, 15 hours. You have a really good time with it for what it is. But if they think that they can get like $50 for this, especially in the year of our Lord, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, like that raises the bar. And, you know, when that game's giving me 60 hours of easy content,
Warning, reinforcements
not
detected.
easy, but of like really good content, I expect a good bit more than just like 10, 15 hours, you know, especially because it's also going to have cosmetics. It's also going to have a ton of other stuff.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't know. What do you think the price point should be based on what you've played so far?
I think it really depends on whether they are going to have ranked at launch. Because as of right now, I just don't see what the like huge hook is. Like, what is the thing this game is doing that no other game is doing? Especially when Tarkov is going 1.0 and...
Oh, real bad guy over on my ping 25. Or no, it might just be an invisible robot, but
Okay.
a real threat nonetheless.
Yeah, they have little capes. The AIs in this game, like, no joke. I'm telling you what. Real talk. Look here, look, listen.
Look here.
Man, I can't take this shit no more.
Whoa.
Okay. Oh, real. Oh. I think that was
Oh,
a
yeah,
real player.
guy. No! Oh man, I almost had him. And yeah, they lit me up. Up on that little ridge there.
I only have 6 rounds. I gotta reload. Appearing offline does not effing stop it. Don't offer advice for nothing, something you know nothing about. Oh.
Camo active.
I will raise you, my friend.
Yes.
For I am invisible. This game has yellow. Yes.
I just saw him walk by those stairs over there. Yeah, right where I'm facing them. There we go. We move.
Okay.
Looked like the same, at least, character that I was shooting at before. I'm gonna go get revenge.
This is when having a blackbird could be useful because they can scan. Oop. Oh! Get over the thing. There's a guy over here to the south.
Yeah, that's where I'm facing right now. Oh!
Is he coming?
They're up on the building thing there.
I don't know if I can get out this way and get to him. Nope, it doesn't look like I can.
Let me get some high ground.
I think he shot me from this ledge. Yeah, this is where he shot me from. That was not my best parkour, I'll give you that. Yoo-hoo! I have no clue
Oh, the
where he
door is
went.
locked.
He was right here. This is where he shot me from.
10 minutes remain.
I don't hear him. Oh, those like floating chests. They did say that those are 1-to-1, just like straight taken from Apex. they joked about it, like, yeah, those are Apex drones. Yep. We're not even gonna pretend like it's something else. Yep, those are Apex drones. I think he bugged out. I think he just went off.
UESC reinforcements incoming.
Oh, I heard birds go off.
Oh, there's reinforcements coming. Let's just get
Warning,
to
reinforcements
purple mark.
detected.
B2. The bots are not
B2.
worth it. Bots are useful if you need ammo. That's kind of it. I do hope that they can add maybe the like, high level bots, purple and gold bots drop shields of that grade. So you have a reason to like fight them. Because as of right now, it just feels like, why would I bother?
Yeah, I still haven't found one of those really good shields yet.
They are rare. And I think this is like, it's one of the tough things about them explaining some of this to us is like, eventually you'll be at the point where you'll have a lot of money and you'll also be able to buy like backpacks and robot. You'll be able to buy backpacks and you'll be able to buy like really good weapons and everything you need. Just a little floating. I don't know what these are that are still floating, but whatever. But obviously like right now we're very like low level, so we don't have the ability to do that. So I get how they can be frustrated that they're like, hey, you're complaining about the heat, but the heat will be better. You'll be able to customize it. I'm like, I understand I will eventually be able to do that, but I want to do it now because I don't like it now. Looks easy. This map is, in my opinion, the easier map. The next map that we're gonna load into after this is that a sniper?
Right?
I can't tell that's a sniper if that's a... That's just a light. It might just be a light.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this map I consider to be easier. The next map has higher level robots and stuff, which makes it a good bit more difficult. Waiting for extraction. Pop the smoke
it.
shield.
We
Are you kidding me?
extracted.
It bounced
I wanna
off
put my
and then,
shield.
oh my god.
Hooray!
Huzzah! So that's the game. $70, please. And then it warps you to another player in the match. I think this is the guy that was griefing me, that was sniping at me. He looks like he's solo. But
look at that.
yeah. Oh, he's taking shots. He's taking shots. So we got out. It took us 18 minutes, but we got out. We gain a bunch of stuff. And then you can see when we go to loadout, we still have all of the things we took out with us. We can move these into the vault. The vault are the, like, or is the sort of it's the permanent housing spot for equipment. And this can also be upgraded as time goes on with those faction quests. So you can get more space, because by default there really is not much space here. And then, you know, right now we can't buy much, but if we go back out to factions, you see we've got this, claim reward, voila. This is how they communicate a lot of the lore, is through these little cutscenes for each of these. Rank up, claim, it's gonna make me hold down F to do it. And then I unlock new factions, and again, each of these have their own unique flair and their own objectives. Geological overflow data there. Traxxas has their own, and perimeter as well. And so there's just all sorts of different ones. But Cyber Acme, let's see, no further ones. Here I can rank this up. This allows me to purchase frag grenades in the shop. I purchased that. See, you need the credits, and you also need the items while you're running the matches, so you can grab those while you're out and about. And then when you are preparing, oh, it let us switch. Okay, now it's showing Dire Marsh. That's nice. But now I should be able to buy grenades. Voila, just like that. And this is Marathon.
Yay!
Yeah. So do you guys start to understand why I said that with 3 maps, I don't know if I would call this a premium product? Like,
1 game mode too.
1 game mode, 3 maps, and you're about to see, so that was the first map. And we saw a good amount of it, not everything. There's some hidden pathways and stuff, but that's 1 map. And then we're going to look here in a second at the second map, and you'll get a feeling for that one. It's a little bit bigger. There's more teams, I believe, on this map compared to the last map, so it's higher density. You'll run into more players, and the bots are of a higher level and difficulty. So they have better weapons, they have better shields, they deal more damage, take less damage, that type of thing. This is Dire Marsh, different vibe, right? But this one, you can see this is what this map looks like.
Alert. Though Dire
The third map, my understanding is that it's fairly small.
unfamiliar specimens
The fourth map is the one that takes place on the Marathon ship, and that is what they said was really exciting to them. They said that that map was thrilling, but we haven't seen it, and it's coming after launch. Now, fair point. It looks like it's going to be a free upgrade. That's good. I like free maps and free updates. That's cool. But again, if you're asking me to buy a premium product at launch, I kind of feel like it should be premium at launch, not in, 3 months or 6 months after launch. That's why, like, a game like this might be an amazing value in a year or two. But at launch, again, it feels to me like they are kind of rushing this out. And that's never a feeling you want players having when they're investigating your game and considering buying it. You want them to just be excited about it. You don't want them thinking, wait, are they rushing this out? It doesn't seem like there's much content. And it seems like the content they are going to bring at launch is kind of coming together last second. Because bear in mind, I asked the devs, a senior designer and the game director, I asked them, what do you consider to be like one of the, oh crap, what was the word? Revolutionary things in this game. And they told me ranked and that fourth map. Is that players or robot?
Nah,
Robot.
robots.
I have detected an opportunity for considerable profit.
But if your 2 revolutionary modes or elements are coming together at the last second, already I'm a little worried about that, because they did tell me the ranked mode's going to be awesome and we think it gets out at launch. I'm like, cool. How does it work? They said, well, we have some ideas. What? You have ideas and we're like 5 months out? What do you mean? What do you mean? Seems like you should know.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, like I appreciate that they're being thoughtful, that they're being precise with it. They don't want to rush it, but it's clear they don't want to rush it, and yet they have a release date in 5 months. Oh yeah, so this red bubble, this is a high level area. There's really good stuff in there, but you have to pop a consumable that increases your resistance to that like corruption damage, and then you can go in there and be fine. But if you don't have that, they can shoot out at you dealing damage, but you can't shoot in. So we don't want to go close to that because if we get downed there, we're screwed.
Oh, real team right here. One down.
Nice. Yeah, man, it'd be nice to have some shield right now. I'll tell you what. Oh! Behind us, real team. That LMG takes so long to wind up, dude. It's like pop, 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 pop.
Oh, damn. They got me.
Dude, I got exploded.
Should be close. You should be able to get them. Oh, no, from up top.
They're all
Oh,
around us, dude.
brutal.
They're everywhere. I think we got third partied while we were trying to second party a team. First party? I don't know. Well, I'm dead. Emojis up, fishies down. You're it's over,
That's
Jake.
it.
This
I'll
is it.
climb towards your corpse.
Thank you. Climb in my duffel bag.
Get me in there. There's
Bruh.
no, like, not give up button. Keep going.
Refuse to die button. Where you just stay awake, clinging to life. So
This is much better.
So that thing that just happened, almost all of the progress we made in that first match that we extracted on was just lost. Okay, all of that. I did put some stuff in the vault, to be fair, and I did complete some like objectives while doing that, but all of that stuff is gone because that's extraction shooters. Now this is why, like, some people, I think extraction shooters, I'll just ready up and we'll go right for it. But this is why I think extraction shooters tickle some people's brains in just the right way, where it really clicks with them and they eat it up. But for me, like, it really, it pisses me off more than anything. You know, like, I know that some people love the idea that, like, ooh, every run I could find success. I could get the W. But for me, it just kind of ticks me off, man. It makes me upset. It's the same thing with like roguelike modes, you know, where I'm just like, I had an amazing run for like a solid 2 hours. You know, I was just killing it. And, you know, I'm winning match after match, getting tons of cool loot. And then in like 2-3 matches, if you bring that loot with you, you just spiral. You get tilted. Skill issue? Yeah, literally, yes. No one's arguing that with you. Okay, if we were good, this would be different. But that's part of the thing with kind of the parody, the paradox of games kind of like this, which have really high highs and really low lows, which is that in order to get good enough to be like, you know, really know what's going on and what you're doing, you have to push through that initial wave of frustration. And I think that that's why they're part of the reason, besides just money, I think that's part of the reason why they want to go with a premium price tag, because I think they are hoping that when people put $40 up or $50 up for this, that they are less likely to rage quit, you know, and just go, screw this. Because I think that happens a lot, unless you have a reason to keep pushing, like a friend you're playing with or something else, like your money, you know.
Reminder, UESC activity detected. Expect death. Embrace rebirth.
But this is also, it's also, you know, we joke about just getting good and stuff. That also assumes that this literally is up to just the fates of the players. They are balancing the game, targeting specific mortality rates. And I talked about this on stream, you know, when the previews went up and everything. But basically what that means is that for certain maps, they only want you to get out about 20, 30, 40% of the time. Which, when you think about it, that means that like for 3 runs, they want you to die and lose your stuff in 2 of them.
That sounds fun.
Okay. And the reason they said that, Joe Ziegler, the game director, mentioned it. He said, we want, when you extract and you get out with your stuff, we want that to feel like a win, not like you just did what you were supposed to do. And it's like, I appreciate that concept, but I do think that there's going to be a lot of people who just get pissed off that they keep losing their shit. You know, like, ooh, robots fighting someone.
Oh, out there?
Oh, yep, he's up there. Actual player. Come this way. I'm not shooting yet. That was a locust, and now they just popped a smoke. They don't see me yet. Are we doing this? Oh my god, are we doing this? We're so dead.
I think so. Got him.
I'm going in the smoke.
See another. No! One guy almost blasted me with something.
Time to hunt.
I'm gonna try to stab him.
Oh, shot a robot by accident. I'm sorry, friend. Hey, let's go. What'd you do? What'd you do? Wow.
Oh!
Stop.
Oh no, I'm dying. It's worth it though. Oh, I have a self-res. I picked up a self-res from him.
Wait, let me just res you, save it.
I'm the Joker, baby.
What happened? I didn't even say. I just heard you start maniacally laughing and then your health slowly started to deplete.
I stabbed. I like went invisible and then I stabbed him in the chest like 3 times or twice. I think it went down after 2.
Nice.
So it felt good, you know. I need volt cells.
Oh, I think I might have volt cells.
Let's see. I'll take that. I'll leave that behind, and I'll look for more volt cells. Yeah. That was good. I will heal here in just a second. Oh, thank you, sir.
No prob.
And now I have a shield.
A grenade build.
So maybe this is part of it. So I picked up a self-res and a gold shield and a decent gun from that guy. So for me, that was a high point. You know, I'm like, ooh, I want that again. Let's keep playing and try to get another moment like that. But now I have to, you know, extract with it too. That's the other piece of this puzzle. But for that other guy, that was probably a moment where he got really pissed off because he was doing well. His team was doing well. And then he got stabbed.
Oh, sniper shot.
In the face. I can't tell if it's a robot or not. Yeah. Just a robot. But yeah, that's just the fascinating thing about extraction shooters is I think maybe it's like a gambling part of our monkey brains where we want like the risk reward, like every match could be the biggest one yet. And I could get a huge payout. Is that a player? No, purple robot.
Ooh.
Recall window will remain stable for 20 minutes.
Ooh, baby. Okay, I'm gonna drop. This is one of the moments where I'm like, I wish I had brought. Wait, why am I carrying a pistol around?
Because you like it.
Okay, I'll bring that with me. Okay. Okay. But now we have to get all the way over there. We got to go all the way around the map.
To B2?
Yes, sir.
Aha.
Ooh, bleach.
Ooh.
There's a lot of shots coming over that way.
Yeah.
A lot of them. Looks like Minecraft. Yeah, that's bait.
Prepare for increased
I've heard much better bait, man. Like Christopher Bateman.
Jason
isn't-
Bateman.
Jason. I was like, there's somebody named Bateman.
There's a Bateman somewhere.
John Bate my man. Is there a way through here? I don't actually know. No, there's not. Okay. Coming!
Oh, we're going through the middle here.
Yeah, there's not a way around that way. Or quick way, at least. Long
this is
sightlines here.
dangerous.
Yeah, baby. But even still, like, so we just ran, you know, there's the building over there we were just at, right there. And we've crossed, like, this huge distance here, okay? So we've almost gone halfway across the map in that little bit of distance. And part of the reason that the maps are so small is because they want players to run into each other. And they want them to fight instead of everybody just crouching around and doing nothing. But it means that,
Reinforcements
like, you're
detected.
going to get to know these maps really, really well. And again, there's only 3 of them. I think the shot's over here.
Yeah, I hear something.
That sounded like shots over there.
Active.
Okay. Searching mysterious yellow crate. Yeah.
Oop.
Warning. Reinforcements detected.
Is there somebody? This map's really foggy, and I think the reason they do that is because they want to prevent, like, across the map
Prepare for
sniping.
increased hostile action.
Well, we got one right there behind the thing.
Seeker out.
Another player. Did they see us? I'm gonna try to get up and.
See what I'm seeing?
Was that your throw?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a door back there, but it might just be behind the... Oh, yeah, there's a way out.
Marking targets.
Yeah. I keep trying to see. Oh, they're fighting.
Oh, let's third party.
Come on, peek it. Peek it.
I'm gonna go through this nifty little building.
Cover me.
Locust, one of them's dead.
Careful now. Careful here.
Need cover.
There's another one tucked back there. Come on. Oh, did he get him? He might have gotten him. I'm trying to play tactical like. Ooh. Come on, peek it again.
Oh, fuck, I shot my own teammate. Embarrassing.
Take a look.
Come on. Oh, everybody's going for the drop. That's what they were going for.
Eyes on a runner. One down. I'm not done.
Yep.
Throwing cam.
15 minutes remain.
Come on. Oh, there's somebody else on me. Literally on me. I'm like so busy on the locust. I'm like, oh, footsteps right next to me. That's probably just Jacob. I should have checked.
No! Fuck you! Damn it.
Oh, wait, I have a self-res. What am I doing?
Go hide. I'll distract him.
Yeah, oh, he's
Oh, he's
invisible.
not me.
I'm fine. Leave me alone. How does it feel, guys, that I got access to the alpha and you didn't? How does that feel? I got access and I play like this. How does that make you feel? Oh, we got finished by Monarchy. Does anyone know who that is? Is that anybody knows?
Oh, it crashed.
Oh, really?
It crashed.
Yeah, look at you. Gone. Gone. Wow.
Let's try this again.
Oh, man. Evil Luke strikes again. Yeah, I mean, I totally spaced that I had a self-res again, and so I deserved that. I should have popped it. I don't know if I would have gotten it off in time even still, but who knows? Now we'll never know. Now we'll never know. Okay, we'll do one more round. We'll do one more round, and we'll see how we feel after that.
Yeah.
I saw the self-res and I was screaming at my phone for you to use it. Yeah, oops. Let me catch up on these chats and stuff while we're waiting for Jacob to get back in, and then we'll queue again. Oh, new character. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, we can totally do that. Runner. Maybe Locust? Locust or Blackbird? You guys pick. Glitch kind of sucks. I'm gonna be real.
Oh, I was about to pick Glitch.
If you want to see Glitch, I'll play Glitch. Just tell me. Will you stream any of Expedition 33 tomorrow? I may. What I was thinking of doing is doing an I Tried video where I show early game stuff, and then I also show you some end game stuff, and like more direct hands-on. So we do like a spoiler-free first 5-6 hours, tips and tricks, advice. This is how it works, what you can expect. And then like the last third of the video, I show you some endgame stuff with like really high level enemies and some of the cooler stuff. Maybe we do that. That could be good. Is this sponsored? No. You think they'd give me money to play like this? No. Not sponsored. But they did give me an alpha code, so I'll take that. They gave me access, so we'll do that. Try Locust if you really want to. Somebody said Blackbird. I think the first one was Blackbird. I can do that. Okay, we'll do Blackbird.
I'm in. Join me, Luke.
Joining crew. Okay.
Activating marathon.
One of the keys went to Jacob, hence Jacob's ability to play with us. And then the other key went to somebody else who I thought was going to be available, but ended up not being available. So it just, oops. Let's see. Let me catch up on these real quick. 18 Ministries, thank you for the 5. Hi, Luke. How soon should I get Expedition 33? I'm not just saying this, literally as soon as you can, because that's a game that can be really easily spoiled if you are not careful. Okay? Like, seriously? A single screenshot could spoil some of the coolest reveals in that game. So just don't risk it. Just don't risk it. I'm telling you. I'm just going to go balls to the walls, Jake. I'm just bringing a ton of stuff because this is our...
Oh, sure.
Our last one. This is for the Conquest LMG attachment. Okay. Click all your capacities. Okay. I'm gonna take that core. I'm gonna take that core. I'm gonna take that grenade. I'm gonna take that shield. I'm gonna take these heals. I'm gonna bring my self-revive with me. And I'll bring a second gun just in case. We're just going balls to the walls, fam. You can't hold us. We the best music. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, we're going balls deep. Balls with like 3 W's. You don't even know. Where are the W's in that word? Somewhere. Sir David, thank you for the 2. I just bought Expedition 33. Thanks for the review. Thank you for watching it, and I hope you enjoy it. I know you will because it's super good. The first few hours take a little getting used to, and then it like starts to just go and skyrocket up. It's crazy. It's so good. Velvet again, thank you for that 15. That's very, very nice of you. Very generous. But yeah, you're right. This is going to be a really tough launch for them. Jimothy, wait, I scrolled too far. Jimothy, hopefully Jacob is prepping the marathon song. Yeah.
What would the first line be of the marathon song?
Alpha. I don't know. Just stress that it's not done. I don't.
Just have someone scream alpha at the start.
Yeah. Oh, you could do like one of those cringy TikTok songs where people think that they're wolves, and so they like all howl at the camera.
Oh, do you think if it could do that?
That would be cool.
Wolf-
How do you
wolf
type
war song.
howl like whoo without it just sounding like whoo? I don't know how you do that.
Maybe we just get someone to say howl over and over again
Yeah, maybe.
for a really long time.
What? Oh, dude, you've not seen those? There's a family of people on TikTok. They have a page, and literally all they do is like they have a family structure that they claim. Are there already players, or is that robots?
No, it's a
Okay.
robot.
I was like, unbelievable. I went balls deep. But they believe that they're like a wolf pack, and so they like howl at each other. They have the alpha, and they all follow him around, and like it's whatever you're thinking. Amplify the cringe by like 5,000, and you'll get close. It's fantastic. Oh my god. There we go. Finally. They did tell me that this gun is probably the worst in the game right now. But it's all I've got. Besides this little SMG, I can't really use at range. Okay. We cleaned up nicely there, fam. Lenny! Only in America? Yeah, dude. I wish I could remember the name of them, but it's pretty hard to watch. it's pretty hard to watch. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Oh yeah, you can't remove the mags. Damn it. You can't remove attachments at all, and it drives me crazy. Okay. Okay, go team. There we go. Living the dream. Built different. Woof woof howl howl. Let's see. Matthew, thank you for that one. Been watching you for quite a while and wanted to take the time to say, I think you're all right, man. Thanks. I think you're all right too. Thank you, my friend.
Aw.
Glad to have you. And Jacob's here too.
Oh, I was just appreciating the sweet moment. I don't need none of that. I'm punk like that.
Why? Because you're better than me?
Yeah.
Yeah, bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah, bruh.
Oh man.
Ooh,
Oh,
chem
no,
grenades. These are. Didn't mean to pick that up. Okay, didn't mean to do that. Almost through it. I'm gonna use.
Oh, is it just the two of us?
Yeah, looks like our other. Either we didn't match make with someone or they pulled.
Interesting.
I don't know which. I was not paying enough attention. Ooh,
I think it'll work to our advantage.
hardline PR.
Ooh,
Interesting.
I got my ult.
Okay. Okay. Let's stay close to you.
I'm going this way.
Um,
There's nothing here.
on a scale of 1 to 10, what's the fun factor when playing this game? It's honestly, it's different depending on whether you're winning or losing. When you are dying or getting like sandwiched between two teams that just happen to cross paths at the same time as you, it's like a -5. Like it's miserable. But if you are the one doing the curb stomping and you're the one that's getting all the loot, it feels like a 10. You're like, oh, I'm loving this. I'm eating it up. But that's just an extraction shooter thing. I mean, that's not specifically just, you know, marathon. That's an age-old problem. The tough thing is how you balance it. Oh my god.
Unit is signaling for reinforcements.
So, I don't know. It ranges wildly. And I think I also am not like your standard hardcore extraction shooter player. But I do know for a fact they're trying to appeal to players like me that like Apex hence why they like invited me to the event. This is all bad. We should just move. There's like 5 or 6 high-level robots up there, and none of them have anything we want.
But maybe they can trip over. Ah!
Hey, you got him.
Claymore.
Warning, reinforcements detected.
Let's get the heck out of here.
What's the gunplay like? Oh, it's Bungie. I mean, it's very good. It's very tight. I was playing another up-and-coming shooter. It's a little more indie recently, and gunplay was nowhere near as tight. So I'm liking it. I'm liking that side of it. But again, it's not that simple. There's a lot of games out right now that have good gunplay. Like, it's about game modes, it's about offerings, it's about the unique experience that Marathon can provide. And that's one where I think there's a lot more question marks. Okay, we got to get over to AI uplink,
Yeah.
right? No, yeah. Indie shooter. Yeah, it's this new thing called Warzone. It's coming up. Keep an eye out. You heard it here first. Let's see. Just bought Expedition 33. So excited to try it. Good, Super Sagittarius. So good. Are you gonna play it, Jacob?
Maybe.
You're not typically big
Maybe.
into turn-based stuff, right?
I mean, kind of. I love the Stick of Truth.
Yes.
I love.
Well, you liked
Final
Sekiro,
Fantasy
didn't you?
VII. Oh yeah, Sekiro is great.
The high level combat feels much more Sekiro than you might think, because it's so dependent on having enough action points or AP to do high level skills to deal a lot of damage and stuff. But the primary way you get it is by doing parries of enemy attacks that come in. And so towards the end of the game, especially in some of the side content, there are some bosses and stuff. I mean, they give some of those Sekiro bosses a run for their money, but it's very much a rhythmic thing where it's like ba 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 of just sword attacks, and if you parry them all, you get like 6-7 AP, and then you can do a ton of amazing, like crazy powerful skills and abilities and stuff. But that's why I've been telling people, if you're not typically into turn-based stuff because it's too slow, give Expedition 33 a shot, because the real-time elements that it has actually keep it way more engaging than a lot of games that are also turn-based. Like, to call this just turn-based, I think is a little reductive, because it's got a lot more than just that going on.
Fair. I might have to give it a try. It's on Game Pass, so I really have no reason not to just try it.
Sure is. Dude, he can chuck those grenades so far.
Ooh, I'm low health.
Oop, didn't mean to scroll to that.
Camo filter engaged.
Okay, I'm gonna pop my ult, see if we've got any enemy teams here.
If it moves,
Nope, we are alone.
Hell yeah, that works out because I don't really have any bullets right now. Oh, let me up. There we go.
Wom wom. I'm gonna hide in a bush.
Wah, 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 wah.
Let's see. Base player, thing for that 5. Self-revives also act as incentives for solos, which can become a strategy in and of itself. Also, I'm not a fan of the long time to kill. Yeah, that's where it feels much more like Apex to me. Like, this is not like a Warzone type thing where it's like, oh, one headshot, you're dead, that's it. Game over, Red Rover. It's much slower. And that's where it was interesting, because at the preview event, there were a lot of Call of Duty players there, and they were having the most trouble of anybody. Like, some really good Warzone players were having a ton of problems just getting going because they were trying to play this like Warzone. Or what was the Warzone Call of Duty extraction mode?
Oh, shoot, what was that called?
what was that called? Somebody will say it in chat. But there was DMZ. Thank you, Gaming is Live. Yeah, the DMZ. That they were trying to play it like that with those TTKs, and you just can't. Like, this plays way slower. It's the same reason why a lot of Call of Duty players have trouble moving to like Apex, because Apex is also way slower. And you know, I can understand some people are gonna love it, some people are gonna hate it though, and that's also part of like the balance side of it, because it does not feel good to have the jump on an enemy, human or robot, and to literally unload an entire like 30 round magazine into that body, and for them to still be at like 20%, 30% health. Like, it's still like, it just doesn't feel good. And they acknowledge that, and we're like, yeah, we're balancing, because we don't want it to be like you load in and just because somebody else had a better shield than you, you cannot win, because you're going to unload. It takes so long to reload that it doesn't like work that well. It just, yeah, it's a problem. But what are your impressions, Jake, after playing a few hours of this?
I think it's all right. I get it's an alpha, and there's not a ton here, and also I didn't have to put up money for it right now, so I'm kind of like, yeah, it's fun. It's good enough. I will have to see once it gets a full release, because I don't know. The price is definitely irking me a little bit. I like the gameplay, but you can get the same gameplay from, you know, like Apex, or the way the enemies move around is very Bungie-esque. It reminds me of Halo, the way like elites and stuff jump around. A lot of the robots do that, which is fun. But I don't know.
I think again, it's alpha. We have to acknowledge that it's alpha. But at launch, there will be one more toggle here. One more. And if you can see status dormant, risk variable, this one, same thing. But their goal is to have them each at different difficulties. So like perimeter is probably the easy intro one. Dire Marsh is medium, and then they'll have like a high difficulty one or something like that. But if I paid like $50 and I only had three maps like that, and they're all pretty small, like I'd be kind of peeved. There are some people who are going to no life it and are going to just pour 1,000 hours into it as is and won't mind, because they're like, I like that I get to know the same maps over and over again really well. I'm somebody that doesn't love that unless the map is like so massive that learning it takes like 3 months. Like Verdansk. You can load into Verdansk and it takes you a few months to really get to know that map really well, if you're playing more casually, not like streaming it 8 hours a day or something. So I just feel like content-wise right now, it's a little lacking, and the core gameplay loop being an extraction shooter is just really tough to get right, and it's all in the balancing. And right now, I don't think the balancing is right, but it would be weird if it were an alpha and the balancing were right. But my biggest primary concern is that they are 5 months out from launch. They say the two things that are going to be revolutionary with this game that will be really different and what will set it apart is the ranked mode and the marathon ship, which is the fourth map. The marathon ship fourth map comes after launch at some point. Might not even be out this year. I mean, it might honestly be like early 2026. So 3, 4, 5 months after this launches is a possibility. And the ranked mode, they can't tell you anything about because they haven't made it yet. Delayed? I think it should be, but this is the thing. I think that they are going, like, I think Sony's pushing this because they want to get it out before GTA 6, before Ghost of Yotei. Like, they want to give it a chance to stand on its own. And next spring, I think they immediately start marketing and pushing the Horizon online game, which has also been in development for like 6 years. So I don't think they have time to delay it. I don't think they can push it to like next March or May or whatever. I think they just need to get it out the door. Because again, right after Horizon comes out, they have to sell and pitch Fair Game $. So I think it's just, they have to get it out. They're like, we've given you 5-6 years. You got to figure your stuff out. Just do it, you know? And I don't know, man. I don't know how this works at like $50. I just don't see it.
Yeah, for me, there's got to be a good bit more, I think.
Yeah, free to play ? Real Ninja Bro. I think the thing is, like, this right now, like Jacob said, this is free. Okay, so like Jacob, remove the broader context from your mind. If let's say I was playing this and I was like, hey, I need teammates. Can you spend $50 on it so we can play tonight? Based on what you just played, would you be pissed off at me for making you buy this for $50?
Well, let's say if I completely just look at it subjectively, if this was like, hey, you want to play some of this? I'd probably be like, okay. And then if I saw it was $50, I'd probably put up the money, but I would feel a-okay making serious fun of it while we played. Like, just if I had troubles with it or whatever, you know, I wouldn't. I if I put up the money for it, you know, I feel like it's a lot more justified for people to be like, okay, look, you don't have this, you don't have this. Meanwhile, you look at a game like Marvel Rivals, which is free, and you're able to put up with a lot of the more like annoying aspects, if there are any, because it is free. But the fact that there's only, if it's 2 maps and 4 characters that looks like this, I don't think I'd be happy about it, but I'd probably do it if it meant I got to play with some friends. I'd probably do that. I did that with Hunt. I had a similar thing with Hunt where I played it and I was like, okay, I regret spending money on this, but I can set off the birds and I can mess with people and I can like hide in cupboards and stuff and just jump out at them and kind of make my own fun.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's never a bad time to be playing a video game with your friends. But I think if you're looking subjectively at what this offers compared to another $50 game, like, no, I don't think they translate. I don't think it's worth the money. Maybe a year after launch where they add a bunch of shit. But if we're saying it's $50,
I think that's
it's a
the big
bit
thing is it's
much.
like once you charge like $40-$50 for something, people are asking, is 50 confirmed? No. Like at this point, I really think what they're doing is they're evaluating reactions and that's going to help determine the price. But it's clear, I think Sony from on high has said, no, you have to charge. This is a premium product. We're not going to do free to play. No. That's what they did with Concord. I think that's what they do here. It's what they did with Helldivers. And that's the other thing is that all of these companies keep saying, well, Helldivers got away with it. It's like, yeah, you're looking at one of the most exceptional, because it's an exception to all rules and conventions. It's an exceptional game in that way. To point to that and be like, well, you did it in that case, that shouldn't follow because they're different. You're probably not going to be the exceptional case. That's why it's exceptional and not the norm, right? And it's the same dangerous thing that you see people do when they're like, you know, well, Fortnite has $30 skins. Call of Duty has $40 skin packs. It's like, yep, you're talking about the biggest game franchise in the world with a like 30-year history and a very dedicated hardcore fan base that's been conditioned for decades to spend lots of money. Like, you just can't do that. You can't just point at this very special example and very specific instance and conclude, therefore, that you can do the exact same and get away with it. Ubisoft does it all the time. I mean, hell, they're trying to make an Apex Legends clone, apparently, according to some leaks. So, I don't know, man. I just think for $50, people are going to boot into this and just be like, ooh. And especially, it seems like the reactions are not overwhelmingly positive and appealing to the point where a lot of people are going, I want to buy this at launch and get in. I think there's a lot of people that want to alpha test it, don't get me wrong, but that's the other question is people who alpha test this over the next week or so, how many of them are booting up tomorrow, the day after that? That I really don't know. You know, it's like, is there enough content there? And that's the other thing that they asked us a lot about when we were at the Bungie office, is they asked us, what would you need in this game for it to be good enough for making content? The overwhelming reaction was proximity chat, which is funny because they're seemingly insistent on not wanting to do that because of toxicity. But I do think that would help make content for this. But like, I'm thinking of it from the perspective of like a lot of streamers. Like, do you think Tim the Tap Man, somebody who's more of a generalist, plays whatever's popular, do you think he's playing this instead of Marvel Rivals for weeks on end? I don't know, man.
It's like maybe for a week. Maybe. I could see myself booting up this game again and playing it some more, but then again, I got it for free. If it was like, they won't charge this for it, but if it was, like, I think that with everything they have on the table, if they have that one extra map and 2 more characters and all that, $20 max at first. And you can, like, roll out your free updates, and then maybe later you do, like, some paid something or other to make some more money on it, but... yeah, I think if you go above $20 for me, I'm just like, okay, like, what else could I be getting for that? How many other free games could I play with my friends instead? How many like single player games, if that is a market you're trying to win over a little bit to, and be like, well, let's try a multiplayer game. How many people are just gonna be like, no, I'll just save that money for $80 Mario Kart.
You could buy a quarter of Mario Kart with that money.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mudbutt, what a name. It says on Twitch, and I think this, based on the first line I'm reading, I think that this is exactly kind of my big point here. Marathon needs to be feature complete and feature and content complete, as well as a more attractive IP aesthetic to even begin justifying the purchase price. The art style appeals to people interested in design, but it's a bit too clinical and cold for the general public. I mean, I think I'll take the last half of that first, and then I'll go back to the first part. The aesthetic, it's hard to gauge right now because all of this is in alpha and this is going to change. So it may look very flat right now. My understanding is a lot of the materials, they haven't done like the extra shader passes for like gloss and for certain shadow calculations. Like it's not done. So I don't want to judge the aesthetic and how the game looks visually and graphically just yet, because it could be that those finishing touches graphically make it look way better or way worse, but you just don't know. So I want to give them the benefit of the doubt there that it's going to all come together visually as they polish it up more, because a lot of alphas I've tried looked terrible. Okay, the alphas looked horrible, and then you see the final game, you're like, wow. Some of the alpha footage for like AC Shadows looked like a PS4 game, and then you see the final version and it's like, okay, this is actually pretty next gen. Okay, it can make a big difference, just in those little extra polishing things, you know, the little details. But to take the first part, I think that what you said there, Mudbutt, is, I love the name. I think that what you said there is crucial here, okay? People are saying, what if it's 30? What if it's 20? What if it's 15? What if it's 40? What if it's 50? I think if it doesn't feel content or feature complete at launch, it doesn't matter how much you charge. It certainly will get a more severe reaction if you try to charge 70 for something that's not feature or content complete. But at the end of the day, like, I think only 3 maps and a single mode, that to me just, and the 3 maps are pretty samey, you know, like they're not actually that different. They have the same buildings in multiple cases, copy and pasted between maps. Like, that to me does not feel feature or content complete. It feels rushed. And especially when you consider that they might be delaying the ranked mode because they haven't built it yet. The 4th mode they're really excited about, or 4th map they're really excited about, that is potentially, you know, coming months after launch. It feels like this game is not ready. And if you try to charge $50 for something that's not ready, I'm going to be upset. I'm also going to be upset and underwhelmed if you charged me $30 for it, because it's still not done yet, you know? And that's where I'm like, right now they're trying to figure out, do we do 40? Do we do 50? Do we have to drop to 30? I think the only solution is delay it and finish it and then let it stand where it needs to be. But I think that that's coming from Sony. I think Sony are the ones that are saying, no, you're out of time. Put it out and we'll see what happens.
That seems like a good strategy. Just put it out there. What? Who cares?
Yeah. People will like
It's
it
not
eventually.
done yet? Who gives a shit?
Well, and that's the thing
I
is,
don't care.
I think like there's unfortunately a chance that that Sony doesn't really give them a lot of time to build it where it needs to be. Like, I don't think they do a Concord. People are like, oh, Concord 2.0. Like, no. Concord was a once in a quarter century event where it was just corporate ego and stupidity stacked on top of a lack and total disregard for your customers' opinions. Like, it was a magical thing in a lot of ways. But I think this, at the very least, is a solid enough concept, and it's from Bungie. I think they could get there, but I don't think, based on what I'm seeing, it will be ready in 5 months. Like, they still only have 4 playable characters for this alpha test. The others they've built out, but they're still in testing and they're not done yet, which is why you can't play with them. They don't have the ranked mode built out yet. The 4th map they're excited about is coming after launch, and seemingly is absorbing a lot of their dev resources and stuff. And there's a crap ton of balancing to do. And again, they have 5 months to do it. And it seems like the other bit is that because it's not further along, a lot of gamers' opinions on this game will be made up in the next few weeks as content creators, streamers get access to the alpha, play it, and then share their thoughts, and then they see other looks at it. People will make up their mind whether they're interested or not while it's in alpha, instead of when it's in beta or when it's gold and ready to go out. And I think that's not ideal, you know? So realistically, I think they launch it probably for 40. I think it kind of sputters out the gate. The attention's going to be overrun probably by Borderlands and by Ghost of Yotei. And hopefully they get given 6 months to work on it and build it out, and maybe they'll have a resurgence in the spring. But it's the weird thing with Sony right now is that all of their effort seems to be put into one game at a time, predominantly. And after Marathon, it's going to be Ghost of Yotei for a week or two. Or maybe 3, for the week after it launches. And then all the effort is going to go into the Horizon Online game. That game is probably has a bigger budget when all is said and done than this. Realistically. Because this currently is 250 people. And yeah, it's been in development for 6 years. But when Dr. Lupo started consulting on it 5-6 years ago, he said it was only 4 people. So it's not been a big team project for that entire period of time. The Horizon Online game has been 400 people for years and years, with a lot of contract work and other stuff. So I think they've got a lot more eggs in that basket, and they would be willing to let this lose focus if it means that Horizon stands a better chance of making its money back. Just a tough predicament. But again, this is just what happens when I think they probably pushed for Bungie to work on this thing when they were trying to get bought out by Sony. They worked on it. Sony buys them out. It wasn't ready. They scrap it. They start over with Joe Ziegler. He starts rebuilding it. Because this version of the game has only been in production for 2.5-3 years, it seems. After that, let me see if I can find exactly when Joe Ziegler LinkedIn. When did he come to Bungie? Let's see. He came to Bungie in December of 2022. He's been there for 2 years and 5 months. And when he came, he rebooted it as a hero extraction shooter. So that's even less time than I
Bite-sized
thought.
Cobra Vids donated £10 through Super Chat. 5 months to polish. No chance. This game should be early access or delayed. The more we see of it, alpha, the more I personally want nothing to do with it.
7 characters.
I'll be playing Borderlands and Fair Game Doll.
Sorry, I don't know if you could hear it, but Bite Size Cobra Vids sent in a super chat. Yeah, the more we see of it alpha, the more I personally want nothing to do with it. It'll be playing Borderlands and Fair Game $. Yeah, yeah, for real.
That's most definitely what's up.
We need Cobra to play to play
We
some
should
fair
we
game
should get
dollar
my
sign.
toes.
Well, maybe
should
we
get
just take a road
okay.
trip up to Casper and we sit down with him. That would be funny. Yeah, but this to me is really jarring. Thank you again, Bite Size, for that 10-pound super chat. That's very generous. I just think this is really the tale of the tape. Joe Ziegler came in 2 years, 5 months ago, 2.5 years ago, and rebooted the whole thing. Like from a more Tarkov-ish extraction shooter into a hero-based one. And then it starts to make sense because then you have to redesign levels, you have to redesign maps, you have to redo all of this different stuff with customization, with weapons, with cosmetic, like all of that stuff gets redone. A lot of the previous work gets thrown away because of the shift to heroes. And they've had 2.5 years to work on it. When a lot of these games take like 5-6 years with one set idea without a lot of change. So I don't know, man. It's going to be really, really tough. I feel bad for them because they're doing the best with what they've got. I think it's just Sony is telling them, you've got to get this out the door because we've got Horizon and Fair Games that we got to take care of next, and you're just out of time. So get it out the door. And maybe it ultimately ends up working out if they are given the time to work on it. You know, they get it out the door in September and it's really lacking in content and features and things like that. And they spend a year building it out, and maybe by the end of 2026 it's a really solid game and it's starting to compete with Tarkov and stuff. Very well could happen like that, but I think at launch the odds of them popping off like this are pretty low. That's at least my gut feeling. Even the name sounds like a chore.
It's exercise. A chore. Jesus.
How dare you? Yeah, sorry, that's funny. Yeah, I don't think that they just like cancel it and run. I don't think that they do anything like that. Some people are like, oh, they're just going to do a Concord and they're going to unlist it, give everybody their money back and shut down Bungie. I've come to the conclusion that after spending $3.7 billion, the odds of that happening is pretty low. I think they probably just give them a year and downsize a ton. That would be my
Options
guess.
donated $10 through Super Chat. In all seriousness, why do we feel bad for Bungie? Sony
Super
knew
Chat,
what they
Jacob,
were
just so you know.
buying into. This is just Sony
Oh, I
holding them
see.
to the expectations set at the buyout, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're right, Options. I think no matter what, this is a mixture of two things, and we don't know how much of each, because it seems like Bungie executives misled them a good amount on what they actually had. Because bear in mind, they bought Bungie for Destiny, for a second project that was a new IP that has since been canceled and dumped, and Marathon. And Destiny has missed revenue targets by like 50%. Like they've been hemorrhaging money over there. And Marathon has been in development for like 5-6 years and is really lacking in overall content, and I don't think is ready for prime time yet. Personal opinion, but I don't think so. And so were they misled by Bungie primarily, or was Sony really idiotic with how much money they were willing to spend? And that I don't know where the balancing is, because I think it's a mix of two. I think it's the mix of the two. I used the analogy on stream like a week or two ago where I said that it reminded me of when the kid goes up to shovel the snow out of the old man's like parking or driveway. And the kid's like, hey, mister, I'll shovel your driveway for you. And the old man goes, okay, well, I assume you want to get paid. Yes, sir. Well, what do you charge? What do you think is fair, mister? And the kid would do it for $5. The kid being Bungie. They're like, yeah, we'd sell for $1 billion. We'd sell for 800 million, whatever it would be. And then the old man, Sony, is like, I'll give you $3.7 billion. And the kid's like, okay. Like,
Baseplayer
of course he'll
2011
say yes.
IFY donated
Oh, Baseplayer, thank you for the 20.
$19.99 through Super Chat.
Let's see.
Why am I not surprised? The heroes defiantly feel tacked on by someone who has no experience with extractions shooters. If they wanted this to pop off, they should have kept the
They should have kept the Tarkov build. I think what they have with the heroes plays very interestingly. I think it's also really interesting that you're allowed to take 3 of one character instead of forcing like a little bit more diversity and mixing it up. Because playing against 3 locusts or 3 voids feels bad. But that will come with balance, and they might figure that out as time goes by. But I think it's I don't want to necessarily doubt Joe Ziegler, because Joe Ziegler does know what he's doing. He was the game director for Valorant, and Valorant has a lot more characters and a lot more moving parts in terms of abilities and balance than the current version of Marathon. So he's able to juggle that. He knows what he's doing. He's not a fool, you know, he knows what he's doing. But even a genius needs time. And I think that the time is the operative thing here. Because yes, Marathon's been in development for like 5-6 years. I think the problem is that this version of Marathon has only been in development for like 2.5. And that was something we heard kind of a lot from a lot of the devs. And I mentioned it in the video where I was like, they kept saying that they're very early. They kept saying that they're still early, so we're still building stuff. I was like, bitch, you got 5 months. What are you talking about? Like, you're really not that far away from launch, man. How many heroes are launched with Apex? Was it 8? Or I think 8 or 12. Do you know, Jacob?
I want to say it's 9. Let me check.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It may have also been 8. You're right, it's 8.
Okay. Yeah, and Apex got shadow dropped. Yeah, that was crazy. I still remember.
And
when
it was
happened.
free.
And it was free. Yeah, Luke, you could say it's now sprint and not marathon. I think that's a problem. Is that it's currently a sprint till launch, and then they're gonna have to do a marathon. But because they're so far behind, they're gonna have to sprint to the starting line, and then they're gonna have to keep sprinting for like a year to get the game where it needs to be, probably at launch. So I just, you know, I did a play test for a game. I don't actually know if I'm allowed to disclose which game it was, so I'll be vague. But this was like a couple years ago. And I did a play test for this game that was being developed by a handful of Brits, and they were lovely people. But it was super early. They said, we're still probably 4 or 5 years out. You know, we're very, very early on. But we want to get your feedback early. So I played it, and it was not bad. You know, it wasn't bad at all. It was sort of a mix of an extraction with like a battle royale. It was kind of a cool concept. But we played that and had a decent time with it. And it was, you know, maybe a little less polished in terms of like frame rate than Marathon was, but it was in terms of like package and offerings and stuff. It was pretty in line with what we saw with Marathon. And they were very open that they were like 4 years out still, that they had a lot of work still to do. Like, it still isn't out yet. I don't think they've even revealed it yet. So like, I just think with this stuff, you just have to have the time to do it. And I just think that Sony has finally had enough. I think it's coming from high up, you know, within Sony offices in Japan. They're like, enough is enough. Like, figure it out. We've got to. I think they just want to close the chapter on the live service stuff, but they're like, Marathon's too far along and we put too much money into it to just throw it away and cancel it. So let's put it out and figure it out. Same with Horizon, same with Fair Games. Like, let's just get it out and move on. And again, maybe Marathon ends up being amazing next year at some point. I just don't see how on God's green earth they can get this ready for showtime in 5 months. You know? I don't know. Let me finish catching up on these real quick. Fabrice, thank you for the 2. Did you start the Suno song for this game? Rat. A lot of people asking about the song for this.
We'll have to do it. Do we want to do one live? Do we have time?
Probably, yeah, if you want to do that real quick.
I got a cat on me. Let me move her real quick. Baby,
Yeah, we might have time. Let me check to see if we got confirmation of what we're doing. So, oh, thank you for that super chat, Active. Hold on, let me text Nikki real quick while it does this. Okay. Okay. Kek Cube, thank you for that super chat. Do you think the environments are unfinished and will improve for the release, or are we seeing the final look of the game? The trailer somehow looked better. No, this is very much work in progress. It's going to change. Even like this main menu, they said that they don't even have like the lighting set up on this scene. So like this is not at all how it'll look. They'll probably be standing in one of the maps with like specific lighting that makes them look really nice and cool. The camera might be at a different angle entirely. Like this, all of this is very much work in progress alpha build. What you're seeing in all of this typically is not shown to the public because people react this way, because people see it and go, oh, this isn't finished. This doesn't look good enough. What are we doing? And so, you know, it's done for a reason, because, you know, it's tough to explain to Timmy, who's in middle school, that this is going to look way different at launch. So they just usually don't show it to people because they don't want to have to go those extra steps of trying to get people to grasp that it's going to be way different. Why did they do this? Because I think they got really spooked at the reception of the initial reveal, which was not overwhelmingly positive. I mean, there was a lot of positivity. They did crash their own Discord server with people trying to sign up for alpha codes, but I think they just got spooked. I don't think they expected for there to be so much skepticism. But that's what happens when you charge premium prices for a game that people think is not quite ready, you know? Is the game at least fun? The game is fun when you're winning. When you're not winning, it feels like ass, but that's just extraction shooters, you know? What the biggest problem, again, is just 6 characters. We can only try 4, so I don't know what the other 2 are like. Maybe they'll be awesome, maybe they'll suck, I don't know. But as of right now, they are 5 months away from launch. They have 4 characters and 3 maps that are fairly small, and that's it. And I just don't know if that's enough to justify a premium price point, much less hundreds of hours of your time, you know? Wonder if the alpha risk paid off. Well, I don't we'll see in the next like couple weeks as more people get access to it and try it. We'll see kind of what the reactions and the sentiment is like. But it's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting. We'll see on Twitter. Never go to Twitter. Never ever go to Twitter for opinions. Is it an open alpha? No, this is the closed alpha. Yeah, you had to apply for this. Let's see. Slayer Master, thank you for the 5. What we need is real competition for PlanetSide 2. It's a good time, but the player count isn't always great. Why another extraction? I mentioned this in the video. The Bungie designers and a lot of the streamers and stuff that were there, they all said that they think the future of these games, or the future of streaming, the future of live service is extraction shooters. Agree or disagree, that's what they think. So I don't personally, I think, agree with that sentiment. But we'll see. Basically, they're like, battle royales are on their way out. What's next? That's what they're trying to figure out, because everybody wants to be the Fortnite. Everybody wants to be the Warzone. The guys that got in early enough that it was still fresh and that they build their own audience around that mode. Everybody wants that. And, Bungie sort of did it with Destiny 2, mixing like a lot of MMO components with first-person shooters, and it worked. A lot of people doubted it at first, but it ended up working out. And maybe they're going to do it again with extraction shooters. Maybe they are right that the future of like streaming and content is all around extraction shooters. I just don't I think it's too hardcore, frankly. Like the battle royales, I can play with my little brother, I can play with my wife, and we can have a good time. I think this game would make Nikki have a mental breakdown and she would throw the computer out the window. Like, I don't think she would find this even remotely fun because it's more hardcore. Now, Tarkov's very successful being hardcore, but even Tarkov is sort of still in a niche. It's not quite on that same mainstream level as like a Warzone or a Fortnite or another, like Battle Royale. It has a very large dedicated fan base, but it's not something you're going to see brought up on Saturday Night Live, Let's see. Marco, thank you for the 2. I just want to remind people about Arc Raiders as well. Yeah, that's coming, I think, by the end of this year, I think. I have to check. Base player, thank you for the 5. Hunt has 1,000 by 1,000 meter maps. Oh, 1 square kilometer. Okay. And player interaction isn't an issue. You can be a rat or a vulture if you want. Like all things, it's risk versus reward. Yeah, and I think it comes down to pacing. They're trying to balance this where there's always something around the corner and you can never really rest. But that makes each match fly quickly. It passes very quickly. You don't realize you just spent 20 minutes playing. But it also means it's exhausting because you can never pause and just go through your inventory because you might get jumped, which you saw happen. I mean, I was like looking through a bag or a chest or something and I get jumped and I'm dead just because I took that moment to look through that chest, You got to be very, very careful. Let's see. Bite Size, again, thank you for that, the super chat. Either way, I think it is brave, like you allude to. It's very brave to go head-to-head with Borderlands. Like, that seems wild to me, to intentionally launch on the same day and just dare players, like dare first-person shooter fans to go one way or the other. Borderlands has its problems. Even Borderlands like 3, which had a ton of marketing spend behind it and was very big. Even that game had a big initial wave, Like, I don't know, man. It's not bravery. It's just stupidity, foolishness. Yeah, it's either going to be like the biggest gamble payoff ever because they're going to curb stomp Borderlands, or it's going to be like, what were we thinking? I don't know. Let's see. Oh yeah, options again. Thank you for that $10 super chat. Sony knew what they were buying into. Yeah, I mean, on both sides, they're getting kind of what they want or what they paid for. One of the interesting stories was that I think it was from Insider Gaming, Bungie. Let's see. Was it this one? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't actually Insider Gaming. There was a report from someone that there's a lot of executives over at Bungie and like high-level senior designers and directors and stuff who have been at Bungie for a while, and they are trying to just wait it out because as part of the deal to acquire Bungie, Sony gave them stock options. And the thing with stock options is that they become executable at a certain expiration date. Meaning, like, if you buy, or if I buy your company on January 1st of 2020, I might also say, okay, and to make sure that it performs well, in 3 years, January 1st of 2023, you can redeem a stock option package that's worth like $10 million, where you can buy all of these shares at this low price, make all that in profit. But in order to get it, the company has to perform well. Okay, it can't go under in that time. And that's what they did here. And the reports are pretty clear that a lot of like Destiny designers, a lot of high-level people within Bungie just in general are waiting for that to come so they can execute those stock options and either get out or they don't really care that much at that point what happens. And maybe that's part of the reason Sony's rushing them is they're like, no, you're not going to run out the clock on this and then just bail before Marathon launches. We're going to launch Marathon, you're going to get it where it needs to be, and then you can redeem the stock options. I don't know. In my opinion, a week after launch, the game will have a hardcore core of players bullying the rest with all the cool gear and min-max team their builds. That is one of the things I asked them about. I asked Joe Ziegler when he came over to our table at lunch, and I asked him, like, how do you handle matchmaking? Because in order for you to go into a match and feel like you got something out of it, there needs to be good loot. Because for me, if I go in with just a knife and I find a high-level player and I stab them with the knife and I find a ton of cool stuff, like what happened to me, where I literally came across that guy, stabbed him, and I got self-res and all this stuff that was worth like 2,000 credits. He had to go into that match and either find the stuff in the match or bring it with him, right? So he had to take that risk, and then I benefited from him taking that risk. I got the reward from his risk. But in order for that to happen, you have to let players who have the valuable stuff into those matches. And so how do you decide when to let high-level guys in and how high-level they can be, and when to let the noobs come in and risk it? Because after only an hour or two, I definitely would consider that player to be a noob, right? Because you need to give the noob the chance to get the good stuff from the high-level player that risked it by bringing it in. But you don't want the noob to get curb stomped every time they load in by the players who have better stuff. It's very difficult to balance, which is why I think they like the idea of doing like a ranked mode or something to segregate the players off, where the really hardcore sweaty people go in one bucket and then you have the people who are more casual in a different bucket. And they basically said they're working on it. Which, again, not super comforting. Because you would hope they would have a clear idea. The one thing that they did keep stressing was that they didn't want it to feel like just because he has a better shield or a better weapon or something, I can never win that encounter. They wanted you to always feel like you stood a chance. Like there was a possibility that you could kill that high-level player with all the good stuff, get their stuff, and get out with a major, major W, right? That's the hope. But even then, that brings another question where one of you guys, where was it? It just scrolled past, I think. Yeah, it scrolled past. I don't see it. One of you guys brought up, what happens if you just like, oh, it was a Kudravka. Naomi, thank you for that, by the way. But they said, could you just keep going in with basic stuff and never risk anything? Yeah, you could. Which is why gear has to matter in these games. It has to matter if you bring in a better backpack, if you bring in a better gun, if you bring in a better set of equipment. It has to matter because otherwise you won't ever risk it. And if you don't risk it, there's nothing for other people to be rewarded by or with if they enter that and kill you. So you can't like just balance it in a way where gear doesn't matter and it's just about skill, because then nobody will ever care about gear. So you have to bring in gear and you have to have gear be a major component of it. But then you have to have a system to make sure that players are not just getting curb stomped by other players who have better gear. You know, we've all been in that situation in Apex where you get to the final circle and there's like 2-3 teams, but one of the teams is high up with a Kraber. Oh, well, we lost. Like, we've all been there because in that game, gear does matter. If you have the Kraber and you're not a total prick with it, like you know how to use it, you're going to lose. Like they have, or you're going to win if you have the Kraber. Like you're going to win because you have the better equipment, you have the high ground. Like those are things. Granted, the high ground positioning, that's something you can control. The gear to some extent is more randomized. If you happen to push to that point and you discovered it, you killed this team, they dropped the gun. You know, there are ways to do it. If you got to the drop faster than other people, there's a little bit of luck with it. But I think it's just going to be really tough to balance. And again, the fact that they couldn't tell me how they are balancing it, that just worries me because they have 5 months, you know, and that's not a lot of time. Limit Breaks, thank you for gifting a membership to the community. Thank you. At least in Apex, you can just say, let's run it back. Whereas in this, you'll be like, well, guess I'll jump in with a knife again. Yeah. Well, and that's why there's a certain type of player that loves extraction shooters. They eat it up. They can't get enough. and it's like addictive. I really think part of it is like a gambling addiction kind of mentality, where it's every round is a risk. We might get the amazing gear in this round if we're lucky, if that pull is just right, if we get the jump on that team that brought in the good stuff. There's like a sort of gambling mentality that goes into it, you know, even though it's not just literally a slot machine. There is a skill component to it, to getting in and doing it well. But if you don't have that in your personality, it just doesn't click, and it's just kind of frustrating, you know? Especially, again, thank you, Jimothy, for gifting that, and welcome, Chill Gaming. Welcome to the membership. There's, I think, I just think that it complicates it even more when you hear that they're balancing it intentionally with certain maps only allowing for like 30% or 40% extraction. Like, that makes it way trickier. And I'm telling you, those players who are going to take a look at this say it's too fair and go back to Tarkov or Hunt. Well, that's the other thing, is that extraction shooters have a pretty steep learning curve typically. And because they are also built around the loot that you build up, people are pretty loyal to their games. And while there are people who play a lot of Tarkov who I think would be open to something fresh, it's going to keep calling to them for a long time to go back and to like, oh, maybe I should just go back and try that again. Maybe I should just go back to Tarkov because I know I like that. You know, it's always going to be a problem. So I think, again, it's just they are fighting a massive, massive uphill battle. And I don't envy them. I mean, they got a lot of work to do and not much time to do it. And I don't think it's their fault that they don't have much time. I think that very much is from on high. But how's it going, Jacob?
Well, I just shared the first attempt at a marathon song, and it starts kind of abruptly, but we can try that.
Okay, let's hear it, fam. Let's hear it. Hold on, I'm opening it. This is Jacob's first whack at a marathon song. You ready? Should I? I'll load into one of the maps solo while we do this. Hold on.
All right.
But I'm not going to take all my stuff. That would be insane. Okay, we'll just take this. And this and this and this and that and okay. Oh, and not that. Okay. I'm going in raw, okay?
Yeah.
Here we go. And then we're going to listen to it. Okay, play.
Started playing Marathon, it was pretty fun. Played for a few hours and then I was done. It's not as big as something like Kingdom Come, but it has as many maps as Henry has nuts. Now it's not done yet, but I do expect that a lot of people are gonna leave regrets, because there's just 4 characters, a stamina bar and Apex canisters. You gotta look through containers to get cool stuff, but menu hopping ain't my idea of fun. You gotta give the robots breaths, you gotta give the runners breath, you gotta make 1,000 maps on the battle pass with useless crap. There's an overwhelming lack of rats. That's a fact. If they added a couple, I'll be sure to come back. But as it stands right now in its current state, I'd rather save my money and masturbate. Beat up a ding dang da da ti la falito.
I can't hear what you're hearing. It needs to be clear.
Yeah, you gotta give the robots breaths, you gotta give the runners breath. You gotta make 1,000 maps and a battle pass with useless crap. You gotta add proximity chat so I can scream and they scream back. You gotta give me a bigger backpack, a sack of nuts so I can feed my rat. The people, I'm talking about Marathon, by the way. We gotta give the robots breaths. I'm talking about marathon by the way.
Okay. Well, what an appropriate way for that to end. We got killed by Milk Bag Boy.
Wait, I'm on a delay. I can't see that happen. Yeah, I want to see
We
that
got
happen.
killed by Milk Bag Boy. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, fair enough. Fair play. Oh, man. Oh, man. Joke's on him. I didn't have anything. Okay. Well, everybody. I think the biggest takeaway from today after playing all of this is that you should go play Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It's phenomenal. I love it dearly. I posted the review this morning. I actually woke up at like 5 a.m. in a cold sweat because I was worried I had forgotten. I was worried. Lead VFX artist. Oh, that's great. That's great. When 30 French dudes escape from Ubisoft to make their own thing, they prove once and for all that the issue of those big game companies with hundreds of devs is not lack of heart nor talent, but horrendous corporate leadership. And I think that is the case here. As somebody else said, this is what Ubisoft devs are capable of when they aren't shackled by that horrendous company. As a French dude, I'm relieved that we still have talented studios capable of delivering standout AAA games without being overshadowed by the clunky image most gamers associate with Ubisoft. Dude, most of these comments are about Ubisoft. That's funny. That's funny. Maddie and Luke agreeing a game is a masterpiece was not on my bingo card this year. Does Maddie typically have like opposing views compared to me? I don't even know.
Yeah, he liked Starfield. That means that you guys hate each other and you hate everything.
Oh.
He makes.
I'm trying to remember. I don't even know if he even said that he liked it. I thought it was really interesting. Maddie did not, if I recall correctly, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but oh yeah, this was funny. This edit Jacob did. Maddie did not review Starfield at launch.
Oh,
Like he skipped it and did it in impressions, I believe. I don't blame him. He got piled on after the Fallout 4 review. Because he titled it, and this was like an honest, genuine mistake. He titled it Fallout 4, a near perfect game, which like it wasn't, but he meant to title it. And what he meant, if you watch the video, was a near perfect Bethesda game, which even that, like we could debate, but those are very different claims, but people saw near perfect game and just jumped down his throat. Felt a little bad for him because like, it's like, no, I meant like near perfect Bethesda game, but by that point it was too late, like it was a little funny. Anyway, I hope Maddie's doing well. I'm glad he liked it because yeah, when you play Clair Obscur Expedition 33, yeah, it makes you realize how much of a masterpiece it is. It's so freaking good. So yeah, if you take nothing away. If you take nothing else away from it, then go play that. This is also funny. Ben Starr's video game music performance debut was recorded after, quote, far too many tequila shots. And he said, like all my best decisions, which is funny. That will make sense when you jump in it. But yeah, it's so freaking good. So good. Anyway, Jacob, do you have any closing thoughts for everybody?
Pre-install Clair Obscur. That's what I'm doing right now on Game Pass, so we can all give it a try. Because I think it launches tomorrow, technically.
Yeah, I think tonight at like either midnight or 2 a.m. or something. It's tomorrow. It'll be out tomorrow. Yeah, that's the big thing. And I'm telling you, no spoilers. Just when you think you understand everything and that the game is tying up and that, okay, we're in the home stretch, they just blow your mind. And they're like, no, here's twice as much stuff that's even better. Like I haven't felt this way about a game just blowing me away consistently since like God of War 2018, God of War Ragnarok, like that constant just how is this even real? It's so crazy. It's so good. But I encourage you to take your time, build it out, focus on skills and keep the difficulty on regular if you can help it. It's going to take a little while to get a feel for the parries and stuff, but once you do, the game feels so good. Feels so good. I'm telling you what. Game of the year material? Yeah, I think it's my front runner for game of the year. We'll see how I feel at the end of the year because things can change and kind of like marinate in your mind where you might have loved a game initially, but after 6 months, maybe you're like, I see some more problems with it now. But as of right now, yeah, I think it even beats out KCD 2 for me. It's like that crazy good. Because KCD 2 was just a perfection, really, of KCD 1. This is just something totally fresh and new across the board that's amazing. Like, it's just so good, you know?
Yeah,
Very,
it's
very
something that you didn't know you wanted versus something that you knew you wanted. I kind of feel
Exactly.
like it's the-
Exactly. Like, I love a good mezcal margarita. I go to a restaurant, I get served one, I'm happy, even if especially if it's really, really good. But if I get served something I didn't even know I wanted, the bartender's like, let me make something special for you. And I had no idea what they're mixing in there, but it's delicious. I'm probably going to order that mystery thing again because it's so special, because it's so remarkable, you know? It's something totally different. Joshua says, I just received my ROG Ally X. Do you think Clair Obscur will run well on it? Yeah, it does. I did test it. I didn't mention this in the review for some reason. I'm just now realizing, but it does work on the ROG Ally base that I have. I haven't tested it on the X, but it does run on handhelds. It's just going to run at like whatever the default is, like 720p or 1080p at 30 if you drop everything to low. But yeah, it will run. It won't look, you know, as good as it does in the trailers, but it'll run and work. And it works really well in that form factor too. Let me finish reading out these real quick. Let's see. Okay, I read that one. Charles says, with the 5, thank you for that. I'll bet money Sony is making them push it out the door and getting ready to take full of control of Bungie. Oh, Charles. Interesting. So you think Sony might be intentionally rushing them so the game underperforms and then they can take control of the company fully? Interesting. I don't know. I'd have to check to see what the rules of the acquisition were if they, because I thought they had already taken full control, but I don't know. Maybe they haven't. Maybe that could be something. Yeah, put on the tinfoil hats. That's the next thing we need for the studio, Jacob. Remind me to do that. I need a tinfoil hat. Just put it on randomly whenever we talk about stuff that is speculative. I know people are going to clip that.
a lot of tinfoil.
I know we have big heads.
It's
It's a
a big
Stevens
head
thing. We have big heads. Let's see. Active router. Think of the 5. I don't see this doing very well. People will see this and make a snap decision. If you tell people to come back later, we feel like most don't come back. Or I feel like most don't come back. I agree. That's why, like, they might come in a year or two. Like Lords of the Fallen doing the reboot and getting a bunch more players coming in. You can do that if you market it properly and really invest in that as a big 2.0 launch. But I think most companies would be much happier if they have a really, really good 1.0 instead of having to do a 2.0. But yeah, you can't do that if you're being rushed. And then Handycart Mexican, thank you for the 2. Happy to see another Samsung user Arc Pulse case. Samsung user Arc Pulse. Oh, do you mean the phone? Arc Pulse case? Is that what this is? I just got it when I ordered the phone. It's nice. I love my Samsung phone. So I tried going back to Apple for a while, and then they introduced that Apple Intelligence update, and it was garbage. Like, it ruined my notifications. I just couldn't use it anymore. I also do voice to text almost exclusively for emails, text messages, all that. And yeah, Apple's voice to text is terrible. It's so bad. So bad. Do I like any gin drinks? In college I drank a lot of them, which is probably why I don't like them much now. Because I had some nights where I had too much gin, probably. No, it's a case I'm waiting for. Oh, the Pulse, Arc Pulse. Okay, I'm tracking. I thought you were talking about the phone, specifically this, like the Samsung case was the Arc Pulse. I was like, what? Real quick, I'm almost caught up and then we'll let everybody go. Tarkov and Hunt are successful, but they've been building their player bases for a decade. Yeah, and I think if you let Marathon do it for a decade with updates and expansions and stuff, they could get there too. But I don't know if they're wanting success in a decade or success now. I'm guessing right now. Now that's confirmed, we'll hunt Onryo in Yote as well. I'm excited to see the Atsu collab with Nawe and Yasuke to hunt the targets in any order. Dude, yeah, that's the new update that they're doing. That's the expansion. It's a big crossover. Let's see. Elitist edits, thank you for the 5. Can Bungie leave Sony like what they did with Activision and Microsoft? They'd have to find their own private funding and then basically buy themselves. It's not impossible, but the problem is they would be buying themselves for a whole hell of a lot less than $3.7 billion. And I don't know if Sony wants to deal with that, because also if they were to do that, there'd be like problems and disputes with the IP that they own. Like, does Sony still own Destiny? Do they still own Marathon? Like, how does that go? So it would be tricky. It's not impossible, but it would not be ideal. Limit Breaks again, and Jimothy again, thank you for gifting those memberships. Judson, thank you for the 5. Aztec Cross did a polling. How do you feel about Marathon? Great was 48%, meh was 45%, shit was 1%. Honestly, Marathon is a downgrade to Tarkov in certain areas. I think the meh reaction represents what the vast majority of people are going to feel, unfortunately. And it's partially because it's an alpha. It's also just because I think it's not ready in general. Like Paul Tassi says, I think that literally tweeted out, I think that's what a lot of people are feeling. But it might change. And then, okay, I think we're caught up there. Okay. You guys are amazing. Yes, may Todd be with you. You guys are fantastic. We'll be back on Friday to talk games, and we'll do the podcast with Jor on Friday as well. You guys are fantastic. I love you dearly. Thank you, Jacob, for joining us today.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Everybody go play some Oblivion tonight. Go play some Expedition 33 tomorrow. You'll be very glad you did. Until next time, my friends, much love. We'll see you soon. Everybody on Twitch and YouTube, you guys are fantastic. Much love. Bye-bye.